up, guys? Turn that off. Yo, that's a banger, right? I love my intro song. Welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab. Oh man, I forgot to turn TikTok on. Oh no, bummer. Let me try to do it fast. Thanks for joining. Oh shoot. Thanks for joining. If this is your first time in here, please do me a favor and subscribe. Like the video, actually. I feel like I don't get very many likes, and I don't know if it's because you guys don't like me. Just kidding. Kinda. There's about 3 people in here. If you have Twitter or something like that, you could share it. That would be cool too. One of these days, this is gonna take off. I'm gonna start making some like T-shirts or something like that. Not even just so like, a whole different subject, but not even so like I can just like make money. I don't even really want to make money off of that. I want to like, you know how cool? Oh shoot, I got blurry. You know how cool it would be to be at like the gym or something like that. Like I go to the gym. You think you know how cool it would be to go to the gym and like someone's wearing like my T-shirt, it's got my logo on it or something like that. You know, seems like that'd probably be pretty cool. Okay, all right. Anyway, as you're joining in the chat here, like I said, give me a follow, give me a like, all that stuff. I'm going to pull my notes up here, and we will get started. Let me actually retweet this real fast. Live now. Try to hit some of these followers here in a second. I'm going to start up the recording, record the podcast here. Like I said, I appreciate you guys joining. We'll get crack-a-lack-ing here and see how things are going to go. Get my notes. I will say I liked the slate today. First time in a while in the NBA that I think I'm going to enjoy it. So we'll see how today goes. I'm sure that feeling will probably go away pretty quickly as I start losing some bets, but we'll see what happens, you know. Live on TikTok too. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. Lunchtime in the Lab is a rapid fire picks episode. I'm gonna give out 4 plays, talk about them. If you have any questions, we'll hit those up as well, and I can try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and be all over the place and help out with it and whatnot. So. Here we go. What's up and welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab, your number 1 gambling podcast for quick picks, now live on YouTube and TikTok as well today. We're giving that a try again, so we don't get any weirdos in my DMs again. Your number 1 gambling podcast for quick picks, like I said, brought to you by Pony Up. I have a link in my description on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you're at. You can check it out. It is a free iOS app, only on Apple. It's pretty difficult to get it going on Android, but it's a cool app. You download some coins. You download the app. You use fake currency to bet on real games, to turn that currency into real prizes. There's Madden on there, PGA games, gift cards, Fanatics gift cards, Amazon gift cards, I think. So on and so forth. So you can get these real prizes. It's pretty neat. Check them out. I'll have to try to do a little tweet about it again. But today is Friday, 1/18. Before we look into today's plays, as always, we'll look back and see what we did yesterday. Yesterday we got ourselves back on the winning way of things. Nice to see it. Certainly cannot complain too much about that. We had ourselves a 2-1 day. RJ Barrett, he was there, had 3 rebounds at half and didn't really do a whole lot, unfortunately. Isaiah Hartenstein, over 15.5 rebounds and assists. I had mentioned I liked his 13.5 rebounds. He had 17 rebounds. He had 3 assists. He ended up with 20 rebounds and assists. We clear that number very, very, very easily. Fantastic. He's been awesome. So if he's in a good matchup, while that they're dealing with those injuries, he's a great look. RJ Barrett, like I said, stuck at 4 on a line of 6.5. That was our one miss that we had yesterday. And Lowry Markkinen, PR, points and rebounds over 34.5. When I went to bed, that bet was dead. He had like 10 points and like a handful of rebounds. He lit it up in the second half. Finished with 26 points and 10 rebounds for 36 PR. Gave us a win there. So a 2-in-1 day, up a unit. I will certainly take that. We've been, yesterday we had our 2 days ago we had ourselves a losing day. Broke about a 4 or 5 day streak here for the podcast at Lunchtime in the Lab. But we're back at it with a winning day. And today we're getting a little wild. I've got 4 plays in the NBA, and I know you're sitting here and you're saying, man, you don't really like to bet on the NBA. And I'll tell you what, it's not that I don't. I like to bet on the NBA when I'm winning, and I think I found some spots here, and I'm probably going to be optimistic until the game starts, and then I'm going to be upset and grumpy on Twitter again. And you can come back and be like, hey, I told you, Joe, you don't want to bet, you don't want to go heavy in the NBA, save that for the NFL. And I'll probably be like, yeah, you're right. We got a bunch of units we want to deploy for NFL over this weekend. We got a lot of good games for the NFL this weekend, so we want to make sure we're checking, looking into that stuff. But I have some good spots here, so we're going to get going here because it's going to be a little bit of a longer podcast because I do have one extra play. I'm going 4 wide today. LaMelo Ball over 26.5 points since coming back from injury. He's over this line in 2 of 3 games. His first game back was against the Spurs. He put up 28 points. He had some pretty limited minutes. They were kind of pulling him back and forth. He was playing like 4 or 5 minutes at a time, 6 minutes kind of pulling him back. He wasn't playing a whole lot. He was still able to put up 28 points in that first game he played. This is going to be his first game back at home coming off of this injury. Before he got hurt, he had gone over this number in 6 straight games. And obviously, we're still playing with like this deflated line because of his injury. But I mean, he cleared, if I'm not mistaken, 30 plus points in all of those games at home in 6 straight. Each of those games, each of the games since being back, his minutes have increased. Each game he's been playing more and more. And we have a great matchup against the Spurs here. The Spurs allow 27.85 points per game to point guards, which is the most in the league. The Spurs are giving up the 4th most 3-pointers in general, and they give up a ton of attempts as well. On top of this, we have a pace-up spot for the Hornets here against the Spurs. The Spurs play pretty fast basketball compared to who they've been playing recently. They played, if I'm not mistaken, he had played the Heat and the Pelicans. Both of those teams play pretty slow. The Heat, one of the slowest. So we get a nice pace-up spot. I think these guys are like top 5. If I'm not mistaken, so they're going to be moving a little quicker, a little more running and gunning. I will also say we already know that Wemby is going to be out. Wembanyama is not playing today, so that means they're going to have some pretty soft rim protection. LaMelo Ball can drive the lane. He had 15 fouls in their first game, so I certainly don't think he's going to reproduce. He went 14 for 15, if I'm not mistaken, from free throw in that first game they had. I don't think that's going to happen again, but he's able to drive the lane. At the same time, obviously, he takes a lot of threes and can kill him on the outside. So it's a great spot here against a team that gives up the most points to point guards and a team that allows a lot of threes in general for LaMelo to get after it. And he's back at home off the injury, so I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere and hopefully a good game. And the next one's going to be KP. Porzingis over 18.5 points in his career against Jokic. He averages 20.5 points per game. So in his career, obviously, he's over this pretty handedly. Last year, he faced the Nuggets when he was with the Wizards. I think it was just one time last year. He had 25 points with the Wizards last year against Jokic. He's over this number in 3 of his last 4 games against them, but also over in 3 of 3 when he's taken at least 3 3-point attempts. I said a lot of threes. I feel like a lot there. Hopefully that made sense. When he's taken more than three or more 3-point attempts, he's over this 3 for 3 or 100%. In his last 4 games this year, he's had 4, 5, 3, and 4. So he's been taking plenty of attempts. He's been shooting the ball pretty well. And I'll tell you what, Jokic has been pretty lazy on defense, it seems. I think he's going to be able to take advantage of that. He's a nice stretch big, can drive the lane pretty well, and move around, and then he's able to take those threes and turn those into points, obviously, too. The other day, you seen Jokic, he had like 17 rebounds and like 15 of them or something crazy was just on offense. He's being aggressive in offense, but his defense has been lacking here recently, and I'm hoping that Porzingis is going to be able to take advantage of that. The Nuggets also give up the ninth most points to centers in the league, and if his minutes are there, I think he's going to be able to soar over this pretty well. Should be a closer game. It's like a 7-point spread, but I mean, the Nuggets, if this is a blowout game, I'm going to be not happy. I mean, it's the Celtics versus the Nuggets. There's no way this is going to be a blowout. You would think these are going to be two pretty capable teams. They're going to be able to, keep it close. And he's also shooting a lot better from home. He's over this number in 7 of his last 10 home games. I saw a stat. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head without, guessing too much, but it was something like, he's shooting a good 2 or 3, more points at home compared to anything else, So, he's certainly been performing, better at home, as most players will anyway. But that's our second play. Moving into our third play. And real quick, the people that's in here on YouTube, do me a favor, like this video, please. And you haven't subscribed, hit me up on that as well. I don't know how the algorithm works, but make sure you're giving me those likes and everything. I appreciate it. Third play is going to be Jeremy Grant over 20.5 points. Really good matchup here, just in general, historically and matchup wise. Grant's over this number in 3 straight at home and 8 of his last 9. So he's really been, he's playing some good ball at home. When he played the Pacers back in November, he had 34 points. He dropped 34 points on their heads. In the last 30 games, the Pacers are allowing the most points to small forwards in the league. And throughout like the entire year, they're second most with 23.5 points per game, which obviously is over the number to get here. The Pacers allow also the most points in the paint, and they simply just aren't big enough to defend some of these guys. Jeremy Grant's not a big guy, but he's able to drive the lane, and at the same time, he can kill him from outside, just like LaMelo Ball. He's just got more meat on his bones. I talk about it a lot. I do it more so with football. Football is definitely like my wheelhouse when it comes to betting. It's a sport that I certainly enjoy more, and I know more about football than I do any other sport. But lost my point here. But his over 1.5 threes today is juiced like pretty dang heavily. I'm talking like minus 150, minus 160. So that's the books telling us that he is more than likely going to be getting at least 2 3-pointers on the game tonight based off, just the line that we have for the book. I was looking on FanDuel, so maybe some of these other ones could be, possibly a little different. When he's made at least 2 threes at home, he's over this number in 9 of 9. That's 100%, guys. 18 to 21 in general. So we're mixing home and away here. When he makes at least 2 threes, he's over this number at home 100% of the time, 9 to 9. The Pacers also played last night, so we may have some. They are a bit of a young team, so maybe not as much. But they played last night, so there's likelihood to see some tired legs, which is going to keep this hopefully a little bit more of a competitive game. I don't know if Halliburton's going to be able to play. I keep seeing he's ruled out. I don't know if that's like him possibly being there has the potential of playing. I don't know if Pascal Siakam. I'm not sure if he played last night or not. I don't know if Siakam's playing. They have a whole lot of moving around and seeing how like the minutia of things are going to go. So I think it's going to be a solid matchup and a mismatch, hopefully for Grant to go over these points here. And then our fourth play today is going to be D'Angelo Russell over 2.5 threes. The Nets are giving up the most threes in the league, the point guard, and the 5th overall in general to centers, guards, small forwards, everything like that. And they're also allowing the 5th highest 3-point percentage on the road in terms of, shots and makes. Cam Reddish is out. Without him the last 2 games, he has played 35 and 36 minutes. So he has been playing a lot of minutes. He sometimes gets benched because he's kind of like a defensive liability, but he's probably going to be playing. He's probably going to be guarding Dinwiddie, which isn't overly. Dinwiddie had a pretty good game the other day. Put up like a 40 spot against I don't remember who. So did Kyrie. But anyway, a ton of minutes in the last few games. if he continues to get that many minutes and with the matchup advantage that we have against the Spurs, I think he's going to be just throwing up shots. And we really just need him to make obviously 3 of them, to get the ball going here. So I like the spot a lot. I like all 4 of these spots here. So to recap here, then to finish off on the podcast, and I'll pop into YouTube and see what's going on over there. Still got quite a handful of people listening there, and kind of go and see what's up. But to recap, longer list today, and I'll say too, can't wait for NFL. Fantastic games. I'm more excited about the KC and Buffalo game, but we certainly don't want to overlook the Packers tomorrow. Was it Packers 49ers, Baltimore, and Texans? Man, I think they could both be great games, and I'm just excited for hopefully not a blowout type thing. Our game scripts got really out of whack last time we, especially on Sunday. The game scripts just were not in our favor, that's for sure. But to recap here, let's see. We got LaMelo Ball over 26.5 points as our first play. Second play is going to be Porzingis over 18.5 points. Third, Jeremy Grant over 20.5 points. And lastly, we're going to go with D'Angelo Russell over 2.5 threes to wrap up the podcast. We have 4 plays on the day today. As always, I am your host, Jort. Lunchtime in the Lab will be brought to you every day. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow me on all social medias at Live Joe Bets. You can see that if you're listening on YouTube, I have it plastered. Hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever you're at, I got links in there to come to YouTube. I got links to follow. I got links to do whatever. Check me out. Do me a favor. Support me like you have been. I'll keep throwing you guys these hopefully fire plays as we move throughout football season. We get to the Super Bowl. We continue to win through NBA. Then all of a sudden, March 28th is here, and we are going to be winning with MLB, and the cycle continues over and over. I honestly can't wait for MLB. There's nothing like that one-on-one matchup that we get, a left-hander versus a righty that's playing at a hitter's ballpark that's got the wind blowing out to left field and blah, blah, blah. Perfect situation for him to hit a triple and a cash or a 1.5 total bases, whatever, So I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully we continue on a winning day. YouTube people, I'll pop in with you in a second. As always, though, I'll be back here tomorrow. Hopefully have ourselves a winning day. Like I said, I'll meet you guys at the pay window. And be safe out there with some of this, wintry mix that we're getting. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, good ass football. I agree. Really looking forward to Texans and Ravens. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would not be upset if the Ravens lost. I'm not a Ravens fan. I've never really been a Lamar Jackson's fan. I didn't even like him when he played at Louisville. Some people were like, "Oh my God, Lamar Jackson," and I never really was. I never really was overly impressed. Packers and 49ers, too, I think will be a good one. Really good builder-type games if you're in the Discord with me. Should be good. Ayuk, I think, is going to have a solid game. Not a fan of Jair Alexander. I think he's a punk, to be honest. So, I'm going to close it out. I don't understand TikTok sometimes. I need to find somewhere to, turn off where people can try to live stream with me. Why would I want to do a shared live stream with some guy that doesn't live in the country? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think the Bills, I kind of wanted to take a flyer on the Bills to win the Super Bowl, to be honest. I don't know what the odds are though. Let's look. If I can find it quickly. Super Bowl. Plus 490. That's not bad. Yeah, then you can hedge off of it. But they got to go through the Ravens. Unless the Texans win. Man, could you imagine a Texans and Bills championship? The passing yards in that game. But that sucks that they don't have a dome, though. That really messes with props. But, okay. I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, it still looks like there's 10 people watching, maybe, if that looks right. hopefully we have a lot more. On the weekends, I have like 50. I love it if this turns into like 100, every time or something. But, we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep grinding. Please do me a favor and subscribe and like. Here, I'm going to like it myself. I was the first one. Do me a favor and like and subscribe if you're watching it live. If you're watching on the recorded version, I appreciate you guys all the same. And I'm going to get out of here as well. I'll catch you guys later tomorrow, and we'll win some on football.